Once upon a time in a dusty village in India, there lived a poor cobbler named Arjun. His life was simple, his days predictable, and his dreams buried under the weight of poverty. Each morning, as the sun rose, Arjun sat on the roadside with his old cobbling tools. His hands worked tirelessly repairing shoes for villagers who barely noticed him. But Arjun's mind was restless. He dreamed of building something greater, something that could change his fate. Yet fear kept him bound, fear of failure, fear of ridicule, fear of stepping beyond the small world he knew. One evening, after repairing the last torn sandal, Arjun sat under an old banyan tree. He thought, will my life always remain this way? Will I ever rise above this dust? A gentle wind stirred the leaves as if whispering secrets of possibility. Suddenly, an old sage appeared on the path, leaning on a wooden staff. He stopped, looking into Arjun's tired eyes. "Why do you look so burdened, young man?" the sage asked kindly. "I want to be more than a cobbler," Arjun confessed, "but I am poor. I have no riches, no power, no education." The sage smiled. "You do have something, the power of a single step." Arjun frowned. "What does that mean?" "Every great journey," the sage said softly, "begins with one small step, but only the brave take it." The words echoed in Arjun's heart like thunder in the silence. "Take a step tomorrow," the sage said, "and watch the world change for you." Then the sage vanished into the night. That night, sleep eluded Arjun. The sage's words haunted him. Could a single step change everything? The next morning, as the first light broke, Arjun stood at the village border. For years, he'd never gone beyond this point. His whole life trapped in a square mile of dirt and despair. But today, his feet moved. One small step beyond the village, then another and another. He reached the neighboring town, where traders sold fine leather and shoemaking tools. A kind merchant noticed him staring and said, "Looking for leather, cobbler?" Arjun nodded. "I have no money, but I can work for you." Impressed by his sincerity, the merchant gave him a week's work in exchange for scraps of leather. Arjun worked harder than anyone. When the week ended, the merchant gave him fine leather pieces. With them, Arjun crafted a pair of beautiful sandals, his best work ever. Returning to his village, he placed the sandals on display. A wealthy landowner passing by stopped. "Who made these?" he demanded. "I did," Arjun said softly. The man smiled. "I've never seen such craftsmanship. Make me 10 pairs. I'll pay you well." Arjun's heart raced. It was his first real order, his first big chance. With the leather scraps he earned and new confidence, Arjun worked day and night. When the landowner returned, Arjun handed him 10 perfect pairs. True to his word, the landowner paid him handsomely. For the first time in his life, Arjun held more money than he'd ever dreamed. He bought better tools, better leather, and expanded his small stall. Soon, travelers from distant towns heard of the cobbler who made the finest shoes. Orders flooded in. His fame spread. He hired other poor cobblers, teaching them his skill. His tiny stall grew into a workshop. His workshop became a factory. Years passed, and Arjun became one of the most successful businessmen in the region. He built schools for poor children, remembering the days he could not afford education. He fed the hungry, remembering his own hunger. But he never forgot the sage words, the power of a single step. At every speech, every interview, every ceremony, Arjun told his story. "I was just a poor cobbler," he'd begin, "but one day I took a single step beyond my village. That step changed my life." People listened, inspired by his truth, their own fears melting away. One day, at the peak of his success, Arjun returned to the old banyan tree. The sage appeared once more, smiling as if no time had passed. "You kept your promise," Arjun said, bowing. "No," the sage replied softly, "you kept yours. You took the step." Tears filled Arjun's eyes. It was just one step, but it changed everything. The sage nodded. That is the secret of life. The greatest power lies in the courage to begin. And with that, the sage disappeared into the wind. Arjun stood there, a man who once had nothing, but now held everything. Not because of luck, not because of chance, but because he had dared to take a single step.